So you want to be a full-time reptile breeder. Now I get it, you want to live the dream. That dream being taking care of reptiles and working with them full-time. The dream to finally quit that 9-to-5, work with reptiles, and make money doing what you love. But is that the reality of being a full-time reptile breeder, or is it merely just a fantasy we convince ourselves while daydreaming about this job? I'm going to be answering that question today with what the reality looks like with being a full-time reptile breeder, starting with number 1, the amount of time it actually takes doing this job. Now, if you're already an aspiring breeder or a breeder that's already been doing this for a little bit, you're probably thinking to yourself, Dakota, I already have like 2 or 3 pairs, you know, it's pretty easy. You put one gecko in with another gecko, you get eggs, and then you sell those babies. What can be so hard doing it full time? I just do it, but with more geckos, and it's really just that. And I thought like that too, back in 2019 when I actually first started DBCB Exotics. I only had a few pairs going, but that quickly changes as soon as you start taking this a little more seriously and start blowing it up into what could be a full-time experience. Now, just take a look at the wall right behind me. This is going to be my New Caledonian wall. This is just the New Caledonian stuff. Crested geckos, gargoyle geckos, there's a few others. There are exactly 35 geckos on just this wall, just this shelf alone, that I have to make sure are fed, hydrated, have proper husbandry, and have clean cages. Now, if you think that doesn't take a lot of time, just watch this. Now that probably looked a little bit sped up for you guys, but in reality that was about 20 minutes of work just to miss one wall out of this room out of 1 out of 3 rooms. Do you see what I'm getting at? Now what I'm getting at is the fact that this is not a job where you just kind of get a slouch off, do a little bit of work, and then hang out for the rest of the day. In fact, this takes me anywhere around 2 to 4 hours to do. Now, we're not talking about all the other stuff, folks. We are merely just talking about the maintenance care, making sure that these animals have the proper husbandry and the clean enclosure that they need to keep thriving. We're not talking about the breeding, we're not talking about taking care of babies. It's literally just maintenance for the over 100 animals that I have over here at DBCB Exotics. I think that's a great transition to bring us to topic number 2, and that's going to be the fact that you don't really work with reptiles that much, being a full-time reptile breeder. What you guys are thinking at this point, it's going to be, Dakota, if you don't work with reptiles that much as a reptile breeder, then what do you really do? Well, you actually really do 2 big things. Number 1 being cleaning poop. A little bit about the maintenance of it, you know, feeding the reptiles, things of that nature. However, that food's gotta go somewhere, and when that food eventually does go somewhere, you gotta clean it up. For some of my animals, like the tokay geckos, it makes my life a little bit easier. They like to go in one spot, probably in one corner, I clean it up, and I'm good to go. However, I usually just deal with geckos over here at DBCB Exotics. If you're something like a boa or ball python breeder, well, all I can say is, good luck. I did ball pythons last year, and, yeah, it wasn't a fun time. Now, the second biggest thing you do as a reptile breeder is going to be customer service. You know, that thing you absolutely hate and was actually one of the biggest reasons why you wanted to get out of working a regular job and going into working with animals so you didn't have to deal with people. Well, congratulations, now you have to deal with people for most of your life. Sir, folks, when I'm not cleaning out massive amounts of reptile poop every day, I am dealing with customers, dealing with my customer service, making sure that my returning customers are happy, the customers that bought reptiles from me are happy, that I'm getting new customers in that want to purchase my reptiles. All that and more every day, lasting probably around 1 to 2 hours a day just doing that. Here's the best part if you were thinking of getting out of retail in order to do this to get away from people. It's actually much worse than a retail job. Think about it this way. When you're in a retail job, let's say Walmart or a Petco, anything like that, and you got an upset customer yelling at you, you can just say, I'm gonna go get my manager and they'll take care of it for you. Congratulations, you're the employee, you're the manager, you're the owner, the CEO, maintenance, all of that stuff put into one. You have to deal with every single little thing that comes with people. If a customer isn't happy, it is your sole job in order to make them happy. And if you drop the ball on that, well, congratulations. Your business has a bad reputation now, and you're gonna lose money and lose people buying animals. Hello, sir. I'd like to have a word with you. Oh, hello. How can I help you? Why is this lady in my house? Well, I bought a gecko from you 56 weeks ago, and it died, and it is all your fault, and I demand a refund. Meanwhile, what enclosure was it in? You gave me an enclosure when you shipped the animal out. Enclosure? Do you mean the deli cup I shipped him in? Now enough of your games, you listen and you listen good. I am on Facebook, Google, Indeed, Pinterest, and all of the other boomer sites, and I swear to God, if I do not get a full refund from you and a written apology, I will wreak hell on your business. You will get 1-star reviews from everyone in the Facebook experts community. Fine, here, take it. I'll have your written apology by Thursday. If you're lacking people skills like I did when I first started this, get some. Get some fast, because if you don't, your business is going to absolutely fail, and you'll just be another one of those laughing stocks in the Facebook groups that people make fun of. Now, speaking of that, it's going to bring us to our last point here today, and that's going to be number 3. This is a business, and that means you have to do business stuff. I am talking about that super boring stuff. Taxes, inventory lists, writing everything down, keeping receipts, making sure everything's kosher, signing up for an LLC, all the boring stuff that you would have never thought about, you have to learn about, you have to do, because if you don't, bad stuff will happen with the government. Hello, sir, I'm with the IRS, and we're here to ask you a couple of questions. The IRS wears blackcraft? Smart guy, huh? Why don't you take a look at my badge right here? Does this sum it up for you? Alright, your credentials add up, but why are you here exactly? So our records indicate you haven't filed your taxes in the past 3 years, but looking at your PayPal records right here, it looks like you've made $40,000 every year. You want to explain to me what's going on here? Oh, well, I forgot to do them? Oh, he forgot. He forgot to do his taxes. Well, I mean, if that's the case... Sick 'em, boys! Oh God, please don't audit me! Now, you're no longer doing this on a small scale, only making a couple hundred to maybe a grand or two that you can really just slide under the table without anyone knowing. No, you're doing this full time. This is your full-time living. You don't have a job anymore, and your income is a lot more than you used to get. And especially in this day and age, the government's gonna notice that, and if you're not doing your taxes or anything of that nature, you're gonna get caught. You're smart and you're actually filing your taxes under your business. You need to do it right. You need to make sure you're taking an inventory list. You're taking an inventory list of the stuff you've made of your profit, how much sales have you made, what's your inventory list, you know, what were your costs, everything like that, what were your losses, did you lose money as a business, did you gain money as a business, you need to keep a record of all of that. If you don't, and you just file under it and you say, this is how much I made and this is my taxes, you're gonna get screwed by the government, I can say that right now. But if you play it smart, then you play it right, you actually might make a couple bucks. I do think that is the hardest part of owning a reptile business, and definitely the biggest learning curve, at least for me. Luckily, I have an amazing wife that has been doing stuff like this for years, so she really was able to help me out. However, if you don't happen to have a wife that has been actually keeping books for a business for over a decade as her job, well, start Googling stuff because you're gonna need it. What do you think? Do you have what it takes to be a full-time breeder after learning about all that information we just talked about? Drop me a comment in the comment section. I want to hear it. Did you guys know about these things? Are you ready for them? Or does this really deter you from actually pursuing this dream? If you're actually looking to get some more insider information of how it is to run a reptile business, I am on Patreon right down there in the link in the description. We're making more business type videos on how to set you up to become a full-time reptile breeder. As always, folks, thank you so much for taking the time of your day to follow us over here at DBCB Exotics. If you want to learn a little bit more, I did make a video right here talking about, you know, how the care aspect goes of taking care of 100 reptiles and what that looks like. Or maybe you're looking for more of the business stuff. I made a video right here talking about, you know, some mistakes I made along the way and how I wish I did stuff differently and how you can do it differently. Well, guys, as always, we'll see you next time. But until then, goodbye.